Once again, it's the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown Show, kicking off our season opener. It's the preseason for us. We just had CBSSports.com senior writer Brian Diardo joining us, and we got through the technical difficulties. But man, Brian always has great information for us, and he did not disappoint. And I tell you what, man. There's not, I did have an opportunity to go to a Steelers training camp, but it wasn't the camp. Now it was one of the mini camps that the rookies have to go to. So
well, he had me when he said golf, so I might need to make it.
No, this was actually at the Rooney. This was at the Rooney facility in right there in Pittsburgh. The training camp is in Latrobe. I've never been there, so that was pretty cool. So hey, just want to mention that the show is brought to you by Tom's Watch Bar. And Tom's Watch Bar, Las Vegas, is the new home of the Sports Kings. I tell you what, guys, this place is located inside the New York Casino. And we're going to be there August 28th for our patented Sports Kings fantasy football draft. I think we did a draft last year. We did one. I think we did it on the ESPN show. I think the year before that we did it in Vegas, right? You guys remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We did it at Virgin Hotel.
Man, so you can't put pictures up of Vegas, Gene, and it's we're ready to be right there right now. I mean,
right.
Hey man, so that's gonna be fun. Looking forward to that. That's gonna be great stuff. So look. Let's jump into the NFC, the AFC South. I know we already started. Jacob,
yep.
Go ahead and let you. I want to get your thoughts on. We'll start with the Texans. I know we started with that with Brian, but I know there was some injuries that you had talked to me about prior to going on the air today. So what's going on with the Texans?
So I got a bunch of fake news, Gene. Before the show, I told you that CJ had tore his ACL. Then immediately following, I kid you, it's immediately following. You walked off camera. They released a report that said that he absolutely did not tear his ACL. He is listed as day-to-day, which is awesome, right? They are seeking a second option just to make sure that he's going to be okay and kind of when he could be coaxed back into returning. But we could see CJ back week 1 of the regular season. He did not tear his ACL as of right now. So that's going to be huge, right? We were talking prior to the show, safety was going to be a question mark for Houston. We have Petrie back, right? He's in the nickel. And you have Kalen Bullock, who came on really strong as a rookie. But beyond them and CJ Gardner-Johnson, it's a bit of a question mark. So if he's back, the safeties are good. I mean, we do still have Jimmy Ward. I have no idea where he stands legally after the arrest a couple of months ago, but they're strong. And then beyond that, I mean, the injuries, they aren't that bad. Tank Dell's terrible. It really sucks that we're going to miss him this entire season, but we replaced him with somebody that's going to play the position arguably better if given the opportunity in Noel coming out of college this past draft. And it's going to be an interesting year for Houston. They have a lot of talent. If Joe Mixon comes back, if his foot, his mystery foot injury is magically healed, if Nicholas Chubbard comes back and, rolls back the test of time and comes out like he has for Cleveland and Georgia in the past, Houston has a squad. I think nobody talks about Christian Kirk, and everybody that does talk about him talks about him in a negative light. I think Christian Kirk's going to have a bigger season than people are expecting, like 800 plus receiving yards and a lick under double-digit touchdowns. I think he's going to be a lot better. He's coming off of a broken collarbone. It's not a soft injury or a soft tissue injury. That's not a lower body injury. He's a burner. I think Christian Kirk's actually going to be a very, very strong asset for Houston at that wide receiver 2 position, or even in the slot if they move him there. And Houston's outlook is good, especially in a division that's more or less weak. And I say that lightly because it is one of the weakest divisions in professional football.
I'm looking at y'all schedules, man. Week 1 and 2. You open up at SoFi in Los Angeles. Now that could be a win, considering one of the worst kept secrets here. I don't know if it's the worst kept secret, but look, something's going on with Matthew Stafford. This guy hasn't taken any
that's weird.
Snaps or anything with nobody. So I don't know. I think the Rams are keeping quiet about that. But you're talking about a playoff team. So the Texans opened up against a playoff team, Jacob. And then week 2, they have another playoff team. They're at home on a Monday night to the Buccaneers. So man, it's you guys gonna be tested like
right out the gate. Don't sleep on the Rams, right? Even if Stafford is hurt, Garoppolo's beaten us before, right? Like Jimmy G is good at football sometimes, and it's usually against Houston. So don't sleep on the Rams. They have enough firepower to give the Texans a run for their money. But despite opening the season with a tough schedule, Houston has a tough schedule this year. But it's favorable towards the back end, and they're that chunk in the middle. Houston has a chance to win somewhere between 10, 12 games pretty easily, quote unquote. And it's going to be
Buffalo. You got the Ravens. I mean,
they got Baltimore in week 5. So 3 of their first 5 games.
To get out of that AFC, man, it's going to be interesting.
I agree with Jacob though. I think Houston's the favorite. I was high on Higgins and Noel in the draft as well. So I think they are going to be some playmakers for CJ Stroud. Obviously, you need Joe Mixon healthy, and to get that running back depth. I don't know as much, so I'm gonna leave you to the expert, Jacob. I still worry about that offensive line just a little bit. I think that's kind of what made C.J. Stroud have that. I won't say a down year. It was a good year, but after what we saw the first year, it was a down year.
Yep.
And so I know he'll be eager to get that bounce back in year 3, but I mean, you got to take advantage of these years while you can. I'm not saying that you're going to win. You're trying to win a Super Bowl. But with Cam Ward being drafted, you don't know what's going to happen with Jacksonville. Like the division eventually is going to start getting better. So you've got to take advantage of these opportunities while you can to win this weak division and then hopefully make a run in the playoffs. So I got them as the favorite. I'll be curious, like I said, to see how CJ bounces back and if that offensive line can stay healthy and keep him upright because he did get beat up a good bit last year.
He did. Yes. We did. Deontay say, right, let me cut you off, Gene. Our second round.
No, you're good.
Offensive lineman. He has already solidified himself as a starter coming into, like, once we hit regular season, he will be a starter. He will single-handedly make our offensive line better. Cam Robinson replaces Laramie Tunsil at the left side. Deontay Irsay is going to make a big difference.
Jacob, you able to scroll up so we can pull up the standings last year to see exactly where they finished?
Sure enough.
Where I mean, I know the Texans.
Houston was 10-7, so you've got them winning more than 10 games this year, right? Right, Jacob?
Correct. I'm thinking that number is going to be closer to 12.
So okay. So the Texans finished first. Indianapolis, believe it or not, man, with the crazy up and down year that they had, finishing 8-9. Jacksonville, a horrible 4-13. Oh my God. And Tennessee, 3-14, which probably won't be much of a difference this year with Tennessee, especially starting with a rookie quarterback. But I want to talk about Indianapolis and this team because this team, in my opinion, guys, I think, look, they lost the owner, Mr. Irsay. I think they're going to be playing with a lot of emotions there. But we saw in the preseason game, Danny Dimes, as Jacob likes to call him, he is now part of this team, and of course Anthony Richardson. So I was watching Manti Te'o last week on NFL Network, and that guy is just not a believer in Anthony Richardson at all, and it all stems back to the time when he just basically tapped out and wanted to come out of the game, and he just think that is going to haunt him for the rest of his career until he just balls out. But I don't know if he has the team or the locker room, as they like to say. I think Daniel Jones is hungry. I think Daniel Jones is looking for an opportunity. Now, he took a sack. He took a pretty good sack too tonight that could have resulted in an injury. But you know, they're practicing now. They're practicing to see, you know, who's going to do what. We saw some flashes. What was it, 4 or 5 games of Anthony Richardson where he looked like he was going to be a beast, didn't he?
Yeah, especially against Houston. Pulled a Ty Hill on us and just played lights out against Houston for no reason. Sucked most of the other games, but against the Texans, he's looked really good a couple of times.
I'll just say it. I've got the Colts finishing third in this division. I actually think that Jacksonville is going to pass them this year. I just think there's too many question marks around the quarterback. When you got Anthony Richardson with a bunch of talent. You got Danny Dimes, who you say is hungry, but hungry only kind of gets you so far. And when you're shuffling so much back and forth, if you're going, okay, we like Richardson, we're throwing him out there, and he gets hurt, and then we're back to Daniel Jones, and then we go back to Richardson. It's just too much shuffling going on. And if both quarterbacks are taking that kind of hits in the first preseason game, I mean, that's already not a good sign for that offense.
Yeah, that's not a good sign at all.
It's just kind of, when you look at Indy, it's just average. It's just, you got some bright spots on the team with some positions, but I just don't see it clicking this year. And I got them finishing third.
I mean, look, to win 8 games in that division. This is not a bad record. Okay, they were right there with the Cincinnati Bengals.
8 games this year, though. I don't see it.
Agreed. I agree with you.
I see more in the 6, maybe 7 range if they get some stuff going.
And because they still got their star running back who gets, he gets it done. I mean, whether you like the guy or not, he's a good running back.
Maybe it's me more so thinking that eventually Jacksonville has to take a step. And I just think, I know it's a new coach, but he's a very bright offensive mind. He had Tampa's offense and Baker Mayfield kind of turned around. I just think when you have Trevor Lawrence, and I know, again, we're going to talk about him, he came out as one of the most touted prospects in quarterback, and he just hasn't lived up to the hype. But when you got guys like, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a massive second year. That guy is unbelievable. You added Travis Hunter, which is going to be one of the most fascinating storylines we watch.
Oh yeah.
The Panthers play them in week 1, so I'm going to be very curious. I think that's the perfect time to play them before they kind of figure out how they want to use Hunter in the hot Jaguars heat. So I'm looking forward to that. But you add some juice there with him. You add De'Ami Brown from the Commanders to the receivers, so they got some good weapons around them. And there's just too much talent with Trevor Lawrence and some of these receivers that in this weak division, they got to take a jump. And when I say a jump, I'm not saying win the division. I just think maybe they take a step over the Colts and finish second in the division.
But Dustin, how do you take a step up when Trevor Lawrence is working on his third coach in 4 years? Peyton Manning always says this. He says, if you really want to run a quarterback, change coordinators and coaches on them.
I get it. And I think that was part of Bryce Young's problem in Carolina to start off. They were changing too many coaches and coordinators. So I completely agree with you. Again, maybe it's a combination of me being down on Indy. And again, when I say Jackson was going to take a step, what were they, 4-13 last year?
Yeah.
I'm talking maybe flirting with 8 wins, maybe 500. I'm not talking 12 wins, make a playoff, 11 wins. I'm just talking maybe flirting right below like 8 and 9, kind of like Indy was last year. I kind of could see them floating around that number.
Not to mention with Jacksonville, we're looking at 2024 with this record, right? The year before that, Jacksonville was a good team. They were second place in the division. Yeah. They almost won the division. They were 1 game, I think half game maybe behind Houston in the division. Like Jacksonville took a big step back last year due to injuries. Trevor Lawrence gets injured. Travis Etienne gets injured. Half their defense gets injured. Right. So to your testament, Dustin, like Jacksonville is a good team who fell on a tough. There was the bonker year that Brian Yarder was talking about for Baltimore. Right. It was just a dinker. And Jacksonville should come back to reclaim silver in the AFC South.
Well, hey, look, I'm gonna
make my first bold prediction. My first bold prediction of our first show of the season. The Indianapolis Colts are going to finish last in the AFC South.
Last?
I can see that.
Last.
Wow.
We're jumping into the Titans.
Not Tennessee with a rookie quarterback?
Xavier Restrepo.
Wholesale changes?
Yeah. Listen, of course it's a rookie quarterback. It's going to take some time. But we've seen what rookie quarterbacks can come in and do to rejuvenate an organization.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying he's going to come in and have a C.J. Stroud type year or a Jaden McDaniels type year.
Yeah.
But we've seen the energy that can infuse. And when you watch a team who had Will Levis and Mason Rudolph throwing the ball last year, Will Levis was handing the football to the other team. If you can just get adequate quarterback play and it's your young up-and-coming rookie, that rejuvenates an organization. And I could see them getting 6 6 wins.
I want to see what they look like in the preseason, even though I mean we know it doesn't mean nothing. I just want to see how fundamentally they look. Just what. But I don't know about them finishing above Indianapolis, though. I don't know. I mean, look, for them to go 8-9, I don't know how they take the step backwards. I'm more concerned about the Jacksonville Jaguars because I what Liam Cohen did with the Buccaneers. I mean, Buccaneers won the division for the last 4 straight times, and what he was able to do with Baker Mayfield. He might be the answer to Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence signed a big ass contract. Yeah. Okay. And this is one of those years, man, that they're going to be asking for some money back or something because
he's got to stay healthy too. Yeah.
I mean, he's got to stay healthy. So look, you're right. Travis Hunter helps them tremendously. Yeah. Now, the good thing about Travis Hunter, guys, is that he can do 2 things. The bad thing about him, if he gets hurt, you done lost 2 players, right?
So. Well, let me ask you too that since we're talking about the Jaguars to close out the division here, can this work full time for him to play both ways? Both ways. I just want to.
No.
The NFL is just such a different animal, and guys are obviously going to be going at you, blah blah. But it's just like he's great at both. I don't know which side I would keep him on more, to be honest with you. But I'm curious to see how they're going to divvy up that.
You got to do it like a basketball player.
You're going to wear them out.
It's a matchup thing. It week to week, it's probably a matchup situation with him. Whether if it looks like he can go out and catch passes against this type of a defense, you're going to see that. Or if he could go out and make a play on defense against a weak offense. I just think that's how they should use him. I mean, if you think if you're expecting to see this guy go 2 ways for 17 weeks, no, that's not happening.
I think he stays on the depth chart similarly to where they actually have him right now, where he's QB or cornerback 4, right? So he's second string. You'll see him in nickel packages. You'll see him in sub defensive packages, and he is going to play the season barring some sort of catastrophic injury as their wide receiver 2, potentially a slot, but wide receiver 2. And I think they're going to keep it like that. I think on defense, they're going to limit him to, like Hail Mary plays, right? He'll go in a cornerback every time, guarantee it. But you'll see him on a lot nickel and sub packages just as an extra pair of hands because he catches the ball so well. He's a difference maker. He can pick the ball off easier than anybody else on defense in the league.
Well, he's going to have opportunities because they're going to double team Brian Thomas Jr.
Well,
right?
You just took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
He's going to have great opportunities at the receiver.
He's going to have a whole lot of opportunities
with Brian Thomas on the other side. So
right.
I just think as long as Liam Cohen doesn't go out there and say Duval anymore, because we don't even hear that because the guy got it wrong. So let's not hear any of that. But if I just think his offensive mind, and I know they're changing coordinators and coaches, I think we'll get Trevor on track. Maybe he won't have a spectacular season, but at least get back to being that above average quarterback. And again, I'll close it out. I have the Texans winning, Jaguars second, Titans third, Colts.
Oh man, go ahead, Jacob. I got to think about this one.
I love that. I'm Texans, Jags. I think I am still going to take the Colts. I believe in Danny Dimes, kind of like how I believe in Justin Fields. I believe in Danny Dimes until he dies. So I am going to take him. I do think that the Titans finish second in the division next year. I like that the Titans picked up Xavier Restrepo as an undrafted free agent, Cam Wart's favorite target in college at Miami. I think he's going to be a difference maker. I think the Titans did a lot they had arguably the best offseason out of any team. So I think it could be.
Lockett too.
Yep. I think the Titans could be that team. I think they could surprise everybody and get second in the division. I'm going to say Colts and then Titans in the cellar as a safe pick. But I like what you said, Dustin. I think that the Titans genuinely could be the third best team in the division, knocking Indianapolis all the way to the bottom.
Okay. All right. You know what? I need to get to some of these comments that we talked about, right? Because we actually got some comments here. Bobby Hitman. MeanGene. Yes, sir. Look, I must have said something that made some
Somebody
sense, right?
actually agreed with one of Gene's
yeah. Now he's also a Raiders fan, so the Raiders. The Raiders just kicked off with Seattle over in the.
What comment did he agree with? I have to know
that's
that.
an old look. He's
curious
got
that too,
baby too. So look, he.
It might have been
Raiders.
The Raiders got a pick not too long ago. The Raiders picked Seattle. It might have been their ones off. That might have been what that was.
Is Bobby Hitman? Is that downtown Wayne Brown's alias?
No. Bobby's on the West Coast. He's a California guy.
Absolutely, Bobby. We love you. Thanks for being in there.
Bobby's gonna. He's the right. Look, this Raiders game reminds me. You remember when the Raiders used to be, when Seattle used to be in the AFC West.
Yeah.
So this is an old rematch here.
Well, stop stalling and give us your AFC South.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the comments threw me off. Okay. So look, the Texans are going to win the division again. I'm going to go with Indy to be second. Jacksonville will be my third pick there. I can't wait. I want to see what Trevor Lawrence is going to do. I give him a pass in the sense that he's working with another coach and another coordinator. See, because Liam Cohen is a head coach now, so he had to bring in his own coordinators. So when you fire a coach, everybody's gone. So whoever Trevor Lawrence was working with on that coaching staff, they're all gone now. So this is it's just a major setback for me. But I got them finishing third, and then I got Tennessee. Tennessee is horrible. Tennessee is just a bad team.
So let me close it out with this to Gene and Jacob, both in Houston. There, obviously, the division is what is expected because it's a weak division. So to me, that's not even a successful season for Houston. What is a successful season? Is it winning a playoff game, winning two? What's a successful season for the Houston Texans?
Winning the AFC Championship.
Wow. So
at this
going
point, it has to be.
Yeah.
In year 3, I would say it has to be. I think the deep run and look.
But you have to look at who they're going against, though. The Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills.
Correct.
So I say if you get to that AFC Championship game, that's pretty successful because you could be going up against one of the powerhouses.
Well, at this point, right, like you've talked about windows, and granted, ours isn't anywhere near closed, but we have what is probably the best opportunity that we're going to get this season. We have a favorable schedule. We have a good roster. Defense should be top 3 in the league, no problem. And as long as the offensive line can hold up, our offense should be as good as it's ever been, right? In the history of the Houston Texans, since Andre Johnson and Arian Foster were on the team, our offense has the opportunity to be the best it has ever been. So we win the AFC Championship and progress to a Super Bowl. Whether we win it or not it honestly doesn't matter. But progressing to one would be a winning season for us.
And you got the personnel on both sides of the ball to do it. That's it's just one of those teams that's good on both sides of the ball that gives them the edge there. And Dustin, you know how these things work out in the playoffs. They may not ever have to see a Baltimore or KC. It just depends.
Gene. How many years in a row?
Well, I mean, they're going to see them in the regular
season, or Buffalo, or somebody. They're going to see some. They're going to see one of those teams.
Playing
well,
the
if you do see them, you want to
see
them in your backyard. You want to win enough games. And they're gonna get an early test, Jacob. They got Buffalo and Baltimore on the schedule this year, and those are critical games that could determine home field advantage later on in the year in the AFC.
I mean,
so
I'll just say it now: if Matt Stafford plays, y'all are losing Week 1 to the Rams.
I disagree with that. I'm going to relaunch the gambling.
We may have to put a little side wager on that. As we get closer to the regular season.
I'll run the table on that one. Yeah, no, I'll take your bet. We'll have to talk about it.
Hey guys, we should say hi to our former promoter, Ray Lee. She has a beautiful little girl,
Lee.
And she's still working behind the scenes here with the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown
Show. Congratulations.
So, guys, I mean, let's wrap this up here. I mean, this is a long show. It's our first one here. We want to thank Brian for coming on here and doing his thing. We worked through the kinks there. So I promise you we're going to get better. But, look here. This is what we really need, okay? We need folks to, subscribe to this channel and share it, like it, do all that great stuff here, because we're going to have some good shows here. I know for a fact we're going to have Icky Woods joining us at some point in time during the year. So, because we're definitely going to keep an eye on on the Cincinnati Bengals. And we're going to have some other interesting guests. In a couple of weeks, we'll be in Las Vegas. We'll be talking about that on the next show. So the interesting thing about this new format that we're on here is that the audio portion of this show, you'll be able to get on our iHeart Radio podcast, okay, or wherever you get your podcast. But we're mainly promoting iHeart Radio podcast, okay. So you can go and catch any part of the show. All right. So will these shows always be an hour and a half? Probably not. Once the season starts, we will. We're going to be, nitty gritty stuff. It's the countdown show. So we're going to be making our predictions. So, it's a fast moving show. We'll probably be back down to an hour. But over the next couple of weeks while we do these division predictions and stuff, we got some information to get out there. So Dustin, hey, thanks, man. Looking good, Dustin.
Hey, listen, I feel like you said, I feel like the rejuvenation of this show here. I love this format. I love being able to see you guys. I love the comments, having the guest on where you can see them talk face to face. It's like we got our number one draft pick in, and the show's been rejuvenated and we're ready to go. So this is only week one. Obviously, we talked a little long tonight, but I'm pumped for this season and think we have a lot of good content coming your way.
Jacob,
I'm just happy to be back. I'm glad
you gonna sell some of them jerseys?
Hell no. Nah, these are my pride and my joy.
That's what, at least that's about $1,600 on the wall, right? Or $2,000.
It's Cromartie's number. How many kids he has?
Yeah. No, this is the funnest hobby I've ever had. That's
funny. That's funny right there. All right. Well, look, guys, we're gonna get on out of here, and we'll see you back here next week. Look, go to our YouTube channel for the next showtime. It'll be next Thursday. I think I'm gonna be in Little Rock, Arkansas, doing the show, guys. So you won't see my Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. I know some of y'all will really like that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's all good. But anyway, we'll be back next week. So just check the YouTube listing there to see when the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown Show will be there, guys. Look, I'm gonna get into some NFL on this TV, WNBA on this TV. Got two WNBA games kicking off right now. So I'll see you guys. All right, Sports Kings, we out of here.